It's the Date Master, and yes, we're back again with another banger. Make sure when you come in, you hit the like button, you hit the subscribe button, and you most importantly hit the notification bell. So we're going to get into one that I touched on maybe in the past, and it was about um, going back to an ex or doubling back. This one is going to be specific to doubling back to women who you dated maybe seriously. This, I think the video I did before was more so about a relationship, but this is just in general, dating, casual play, etc., because a lot of the times what men tend to do, men tend to have a propensity to think things play out in their favor when they ultimately ended up playing in their demise or in their detriment. We see an ex, oh, okay, she's doing all right. It's been 6 years since your last relationship, 4 years, 2, 3 years, and you know how the relationship ended because in your mind you think you ended the relationship, and in most cases, women end all relationships. In most cases, again, because the what you want to call or what you want to label as alpha, the top tier to top select, which is the guy who has a full 360-degree view of women and knowledge base of women. They don't put themselves in positions to be left by a woman. At the first sight of any type of issue that we know, that we see on the surface, but we know is rooted in something a little bit more, I would say, crucial, it's a wrap. So in a lot of cases, most women, if not all, will end up ending the relationship. So let's get into this. When you meet a woman or you come across a woman in your past and you dated, let's say, even if it was high school, a lot of men tend to stay in their own towns or they go home and they rekindle these flames, so they think, right? But you have to ask yourself, this woman was so great. We dated, et cetera, et cetera. She left. She wanted to pursue better options. You saw her talking points. You saw where her mind was at. You have to ask yourself, how is she still single 3 years later, 2 years later, 4 years later, 5, 6 years later? How is she still in that same position if she's such a good woman and all of this and that? And she left you for not meeting her standards. You see how this works? When you meet a woman and she's all of a sudden, and you dated, and now all of a sudden she's interested in you, she wants to work it out, she wants to revisit said situation, whether that was a long-term relationship, whether that was a short-term fling, etc. What you must understand, what she's doing is dumpster diving, because in a lot of cases she may hit you up first this go around. You notice in this scenario, if you've been here, she came to you with this, with the rekindling, and she was a little bit more aggressive in the beginning. She's dumpster diving. She's in a state of despair. The women you would want to stay the furthest ones are the desperate ones, the ones that are dumpster diving, clawing and scratching at any piece of man that they can get, who they feel is in their proximity. And that's one thing that I always would like to drive home to you men. You must understand what proximity means and what it is. The proximity in which, because you can be in the same location, you can be in the same zip code, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're in the same proximity, if that makes sense. Meaning, we may stay in the same zip code, but we don't have any dealings with one another. We don't go to the same social spots. We don't interact with each other on social media. You don't see me on social media. I don't see you on social media. Unless it's just a random share. You know how that goes. The girlfriend understands because they've been gossiping. So she knows that you are still on the friends list and all of that. So she'll share your ex's post so you can see it. This is a game that women like to play. She'll be like, share this for me. She'll give a bullshit reason to the friend, but she wants someone to see it that doesn't supposed to see it from their timeline. See, I told you I know all of the games. I know all of the tricks of the trade. I am one of those guys. I'm in that rare percentage. I've did a lot of studying, a lot of experience, a lot of due diligence, if you will. I know the game. So when you meet a woman that's desperate and she's trying to all of a sudden rekindle, she's on the clock at this point, and she's trying to lock something in before her window of inevitability kicks in, before that window slams shut, because women know they're going to get to a point after a certain age. They're going to get to a point and that door is going to slam. The more delusional ones, they don't believe a wall. They don't believe in the wall. They don't believe that opportunity and missed opportunities. God is going to, I know I fucked over the last 6 guys and had a baby with these 2, but God is going to send me my king. Stay away from them too. They're foolish. Desperate women and desperate, foolish women. Stay away from them, because they will sabotage everything you worked hard for, because they're crashing out. See, this term crashing out is more than just the act. It's the mindset that I'm going to meet my objective no matter who's damaged, destroyed, or other in the process. The long view or the long-term goal is not a thing to a woman that's desperate, to anyone that's desperate, man or female, but in particularly in this context, women, when it comes to dating. They're just going through the trash, seeing if they still have chemistry. This is why a lot of you, when you guys have went and dated an ex after a year or 2 and you hooked up and it wasn't him like it was the last time, and when you were together, it was something different. The smell, the feel, it was something off. That is a firm example of her being tampered with by other men. That's a telltale sign she's been tainted by another man's touch, energy, etc., etc. So you try to think, well, we had such a strong connection, but this reconnect, it did not have that umph. It did not have that electricity. That's because another man has been in your spot, on your old spot, I would say. So that's why it's futile. A woman comes to you that you dated, no, you're good. It did not work because it was not supposed to. So why would I come back trying to force God or the universe to make something work that did not work and was not supposed to work? That's what you're going to be looking at now. These women are going to be diving in those dumpsters. That's why I tell you, as the age go up, the standards go down. Now with the baggage, as much as the baggage goes up, then the standards go up, because they need someone to help pick up that baggage. So they try to raise a bar that they don't even meet, because they think the bar for you as a man and the bar for them as a woman is the same. See, they'll come to you 2 kids in tow, 2 different baby daddies, abortions that they think you don't know about. So they play these crazy mind games, but all you have to do is look in the eyes. The eyes never lie. You see a woman on a picture, look deep into her eyes. You must know what you're looking at. Look into those eyes. You're going to see what's really behind that image. You'll see what's really there. When she goes to dumpster diving, she's at her most desperate point in life. And that does not end well for most guys. And a lot of the times it does not end well for most women, because a lot of women end up dumpster diving and going back to a guy who they didn't know was really crazy. And a lot of women lose their life because they were desperate, looking to get something. It's a shame. It is a shame. But do not double back. Do not try to rekindle old flames, because within that period that you were not together, she was with another man and they were doing all the things that you used to do, and maybe even a little bit more. And she cannot come to you the same way she left you. It's not going to happen. You must understand this. It's a psychological game. Once you understand the psychology, then you can kind of master how you move. This is one of the most dangerous times in history, even though I'm only 39, looking at just the social agendas that have been at play, the technology that is at play, the censorship, the all of these things happening simultaneously. This is a very dangerous time to deal with women unless you're in a position of power. And when I say in a position of power, that means you're in power over yourself and over your own lustful desires. A lot of you guys get caught up using Tory Lanez for an example, not to beat him up, but using Tory Lanez as an example. Tory Lanez should not be in jail right now. Tory Lanez should be on tour, in the studio, making hits, producing hits, and living his best life. But because his lust for the woman, the wrong woman, has him behind bars, and she's still online twerking when she was just fucking him. Back to square one. She was dealing with Party. He dipped. And I think she was dealing with a soccer player. I don't think he's in the picture anymore. So it's back to shaking my ass on the internet. That worked before. Back to the old drawing board, right? These women don't give a damn about you. So when you get these hits, do not be a fool, and do not be thirsty to go back to a woman who left you, to go back to a woman who disrespected you, who took you for granted. Do not double back. You move forward. You move forward and you move upward. Because these relationships should be teaching you something. These dealings and interactions with women should be teaching you something. And if they don't teach you anything, the one lesson you should know by now is that most, if not all, in this land are all the damn same. And you'll get the same outcome as the rest. But that's my 2 cents on doubling back. Let me know what you think about this video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. It's the Day Master.